The Try That in a Small Town podcast is powered by eSpaces, redefining co-working, exceptional office space for every business. At eSpaces, we offer more than just office space. We provide premium private offices designed for focus and growth. Located in the heart of Music Row, our fully furnished offices, private suites, meeting rooms, and podcast studio give you the perfect space to work, create, and connect. Ready to elevate your business? Book a tour today at espaces.com.
And I don't know if you know this, but we happen to propel careers here. We
I don't know if you know this. I don't know. This is going to help.
We had Cash Patel on before he was the FBI director, and look at that.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
There you go.
I'm just saying.
We had Kristi Noem.
We simply befriended Governor Kristi Noem, and now look at her. I mean,
I don't know what
Travis
she knows.
has not told her yet.
I don't think she knows.
But, I
Travis
just
doesn't
look
know.
at her and say, shake it off.
I'm going to go there. Senator, you running for governor?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
2026 would be
This is not live.
It would be.
and it's just between us. Just between us.
Yeah. We won't tell anybody.
The Try That in a Small Town podcast begins now.
You're listening to the Try That in a Small Town podcast. Coming to you from the Patriot Mobile Studios. Kalo, Thrash, TK, I'm Kurt, or whatever you want to call me. It doesn't matter. It actually just doesn't matter.
No.
Tonight, though,
It was Cobb. Nobody liked Cobb. It's all
well,
right.
there's some. I guess there's some off-putting
Yeah,
references.
apparently
to
we
Cobb.
learned that after. Yeah. So
Thankful
we're still
for Ed
working on it.
bringing that to our attention.
Yeah, thanks, Ed.
But you guys better get your minds right, because we gotta be thinking the highest level tonight.
How high?
High.
Okay.
You got to get your sights set high. We have a very special guest. We had Senator Marsha Blackburn coming on. I have no idea how she agreed to this. I don't know why.
I don't either.
But I'll say this, and we'll talk about it. She's been a huge proponent of musicians, songwriters, artists in Tennessee. She likes to take care of the people in Tennessee. She knows that's a business that's unique to Nashville, so it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and diminishing. I mean, since I've been in town, she has been at every function, every award show, every NSAI event with Bart Herbison. I mean, every she's present. As many times as possible, and not just. I mean, she's there, and she really cares, and she has also seen the songwriter community like us, seen it shrink. Over the last 20 years. It was, I think Bart said, like 4,000 songwriters maybe
I wonder
20
why.
years ago.
Yeah.
And that's not near that now.
And we'll ask her that. There's a lot of things that I think musicians and artists and people want to know. And we say this a lot. We have a lot of different people on this podcast. A lot of them happen to be artists or songwriters. We'll have sports people on. We'll have whatever. But we don't usually have politicians.
No.
But this one's...
Well, they get intimidated.
Yeah. And we get that.
Yeah, I understand.
Hey, I think I'm going to ask her if she's going to run for governor. Do you think I should do that?
Please do it.
I think you
Please do it.
should. I don't know if she'll tell you or not. But you should ask.
You think?
You
Yes,
should also ask
totally.
her about
Okay,
Taylor Swift.
I'm going to do
Ask.
it. Huh?
You should also ask her about Taylor Swift.
Oh, the comments. Taylor Swift
yeah.
made. Okay, I will. I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
I'm
'cause you
doing it.
both
No,
are-
I'll
Let's
do
see
it.
if you'll
Everybody
do it.
knows I'll do it.
Yeah,
I'll
you're
let
both
you do
big
it.
friends of Taylor Swift. So
All right. Let's not wait any longer. Let's get right to it. Senator Marsha Blackburn. Thanks for being here. Come on.
I mean, this is intimidating.
It is.
I know.
And
I
we
wore my
dressed up
Titans
for
hoodie. I
you.
wore my Titans hoodie tonight.
but an advocate for
dressed up.
songwriters like no other, though. Man,
Yes.
for years. I mean, every time I know at the ASCAP Awards when Neil and I were there, you were there every year, and just always been supporting us. And so we just want to say thanks. And we're thankful that you're here.
For all
Absolutely.
the songwriters, thank
Yeah.
you for everything you do.
It is an honor and a privilege to do it. And as you all have heard me say, songwriters, our creators, our musicians have a constitutional right to benefit from their creations. It is an Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8 guarantee to those who innovate and who create. So, yes, indeed, it's part of that constitutional duty to stand up and protect the right of creators to be paid for their innovations.
Ooh, we like you.
Amen.
We should have had you on a long time ago.
And it's true when we say we couldn't have said that better ourselves. We couldn't have. Yeah.
Absolutely not, But you would say it in a different way, and you would put music behind it and take 3 minutes to tell the story, right?
That's right.
That's right.
Well, and that's what, what makes Tennessee and especially Nashville so unique is it's a town of artists, it's a town of musicians, and it's a town of songwriters, which is the most unique in the country or in the world, I believe. Mm-hmm. And you're heading up a few legislative acts which are hoping to protect especially the artists and the songwriters, which I think is awesome. And there's a couple I did want to get your definition or more of the opinion on. I know there's like the it's the fake. What is that?
No fakes.
Yes, which I don't think people realize this. Like I could go home tonight and I could make a recording and it would be me singing, which you'd not want to hear. But then I could say, put this in the voice of Jason Aldean. And it's all of a sudden you think Jason Aldean is singing this song.
Oh, it's scary.
It's very scary.
Very
but I know
scary.
that you're trying to help and protect that, right?
Absolutely. And I think it is so important that we see what AI is doing and recognize that. Now, there are some industries like logistics and advanced manufacturing and healthcare that are going to do very well with AI. It'll bring efficiencies. The federal government needs to use AI.
Yeah.
And the problem that we have for our creators is they can take your likeness, they can take your voice and supplant that to someone else and create an image or create a sound. So no fakes will give artists the ability to have standing and then to take these bad actors to court and to remove that work and to keep them from benefiting. And that is something that with this technology, we don't have anything on the books that gives the songer, that gives the musician, that gives the vocalist the right to have those protections. So this is a bill that would do that. It's bipartisan, by the way. And, we've been trying to get together a roundtable. Chris Coons, Senator Coons out of Delaware, is the lead Democrat on the bill. And he and I have been trying to work schedules and get a roundtable together. But, of course, since the first of the year, we have been in D.C. 5 days a week. So we've not been able to do that. But I thought it would be great for him and a couple other of my colleagues who do not have the opportunity to have songwriters or vocalists in their communities to come to somewhere like Nashville where they could sit down and hear from people, whether they're from music publishing or a recording studio or a label or the entertainer, and find out what the vulnerabilities are, how they've been created that would adversely impact their line of work and prohibit them from benefiting from that line of work.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things you've did, and it was a good while back, was I know it was the Songwriters Equity Act, but then it's also where we've talked about this a little bit before, where songwriters, we have years sometimes of a catalog and things like that, and we can sell that because it's a business, and you can sell that group or a percentage of that, and only pay capital gains taxes as opposed to self-employment taxes, right? So which would kill us, so it just gives you a chance to stay in the business longer. Can you talk about that for a second?
Yeah, that was actually one of the first things that I got passed in Congress, and it was a tax bill. And I had to take it through Ways and Means Committee when I was in the House at that point in time. And what I realized as I started working with my colleagues that were there in D.C., I realized that they did not understand what a catalog was. A catalog is not an album. A catalog is your life work. That is for you, a small business person, your business. That is your stock and trade. And so we were able to get this passed. And then when you do sell a catalog and sell those rights, you now pay cap gains on it as opposed to ordinary income tax, which is a big difference and allows you, the creator of that work, to keep more of that nest egg that you've built up in that work.
We love those lower capital gains taxes. We love it.
Yeah. It's so refreshing for someone in your position to talk to you about this, because I feel like you really understand it. And I think most people in your position maybe don't. And when you're songwriting and you're trying to come up with these ideas, and it's, everything's a small victory in this business, and all of it is just so, you seem to have such a grasp of how much that means to us, financially and creatively, So thank you for all that.
Oh, I'm happy to do it.
Tell Spotify.
Exactly right.
You think you could get Elon to buy Spotify when you get back to Washington?
I think that's kind of out of my realm there a little bit. But here's the thing, at some point we've got to look at rates and royalties and say, why don't we focus on end use? Because radio pays for one thing, but not the other thing. And of course, we have the AM/FM Act to straighten that out. They'll pay the songwriter, they don't pay the performer. Then you've got rates for streaming. You've got rates there. It's really a hodgepodge. So at some point, we need to say, is this for just one-time use in listening? Is this for replication? Is this for commercial use? And then make certain that creators are paid for what they're creating. People would not go into Walmart and pick up a basket of things and say, well, this isn't much, I'm not going to pay for it. But then they don't think about it if they're ripping a song or somebody's not getting paid when it comes to your entertainment.
I always tell people, when you go into a restaurant and imagine no music, go into just about any venue or any restaurant anywhere and turn the music off and see what it feels like.
You'd hear a lot of people chewing.
And you'll see, you would see how important music is.
Oh yeah, that's your ambiance. Yeah, that's right.
Well, and you've always had an appreciation for it. And Kurt and I were talking earlier, because you are a musician, when you're a kid and played piano and guitar, ukulele, gave ukulele lessons. But
that's right.
Wow.
What we thought was
interesting. What kind of
interesting.
research did you do?
Well, is that amazing. What I found
he's
interesting.
known me a while.
Yeah. But is the fact
He's old.
that you said that you said
it's kind of peeking out there. It's telling us.
What are you saying? Wait.
I love that. And the senator, I did mention to him.
No, wait.
Last episode, I said you're growing it out on the sides, which
I've got a haircut,
which I kind of like.
I've got a haircut since that.
He's growing.
Before you say, I don't want to interrupt.
I'm sorry.
But the senator would always look at the writers' names of the sheet music and stuff like that, which I found that fascinating, because I never, even as a songwriter, I never did that. I didn't look at the writers' stuff, but you did.
Yes.
So you've always had an appreciation for writers, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, who wrote the lyrics?
Yeah.
How did this come to be? And I think it's fascinating to that. And of course, I started in church music like a lot of people. I know you did. So
he's old
It's
too.
amazing.
He is old.
He's real old.
I'm older than everybody at this table.
Now, didn't we have this conversation?
No, I don't.
I thought I was older than you.
No, you're not.
Oh.
No, you're not.
But let's talk about also, as long as we're on this music talk and the business, I know that you recently sent a letter to the FCC, and this is important too, because payola, people think that was a term and something that only happened in the 50s and then in the 90s and 2000s, but it still goes on, and it just happens differently. And maybe an artist goes and plays a radio station show for free in order to get more airplay. And I know that's something you're trying to protect the artists on. Can you speak to that a little bit?
I certainly will. And it's so interesting how issues come back in a different form.
Right, because this has been around for a long time.
Yes, that's right. And I had some road musicians basically talk to me about this, people I would run into every once in a while, and a few artists, and they would say, hey, if I would hear about this practice that had come to be with some of the large radio systems. And basically, if you were doing a tour and they were involved in the concert coming to town, then they would give you more airplay if, for certain cuts, if you would do a meet and greet for their advertisers, a private show for their advertisers.
And this happens all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
It happened to me a lot in the 90s. A lot.
And they were saying, people started using the term, this is just a new form of payola. So I started hearing more about it from a wider group of people. And I thought, there is something to this. So I sent a letter to Brendan Carr, who's the chairman of the FCC, who oversees all of this. And I said, I think this is an issue that we need to put some attention on and just see what is happening. I know the FCC has guidance on payola practices, and it seems that now it is coming forward in another form, and this is what it is. And so he sent out a letter, basically a warning to the radio stations, and then issued guidance to be certain they understand. If an artist is coming to town and they are doing a concert, that radio station cannot tie a free show, free services of the artist and the musician to airplay. And it is a law, and
How do you police that? I don't even know.
I think that's one of those things that will be up to the FCC. For me, it was just, I've been made aware of it.
You wanted to bring light to it.
As we typically do, I said, here, you might want to take a look at this and investigate it, and you all tend to it, but here's what I'm hearing from some people that are on the road.
That even gets more interesting to me, like when you're talking about benefits, like, because radio stations will always ask artists to come, hey, will you come, play a few songs for this certain benefit, right? So let's assume that Tully and I have a new duo. And the only reason we don't, because we knew it'd be incredibly successful and we wouldn't get a mistake. But if we did, and we're trying to get our record played and stuff like that, and somebody calls us from our hometown or whatever, said, hey, would y'all come raise some money, for these kids and everything? I would just be thinking internally, hey, if I do, they may add a record, right? So that gets a little tricky.
Well, that's the whole thing. Years ago, being on a radio tour, every time you had a dinner with a radio station, the label takes radio people out, and we all sitting there, and I remember the old days, we're thinking, well, this is going well. We'll probably get another 10 spins in this station this week, and that's how it was.
Yeah, it was. It was tight. Yeah, we did many shows like that. Huh.
Well, and
for nothing, for nobody even sitting there for the radio station, for their advertisers, for whatever, and we'll add your record, and they add it, and then they take it off the playlist, a week later. They kept their word, but they didn't say how long they would add the record.
Exactly.
But it's not right. It's just not right to do people that way.
Well, and that's what I would hear from people that were on the road. And as I said, I'm not in that business. We don't handle that type investigation at our level. That is for the FCC. But it is important when the people that I represent, my constituents, when they're bringing an issue to me, it is incumbent upon me to turn that over to the appropriate agency. Right. So we did. And hopefully
Hopefully they're doing their job.
Yeah. Hopefully so.
Yeah. And all you can do is hear from guys like us.
That's it. Yep. That's it.
Well, I want to bring something to your attention, and maybe you can get it to the higher powers. Can we somehow keep daylight savings time?
Listen, when yes,
For the
yes,
love.
you
At
know,
least in Tennessee. You know, some states
keep
do it, right? Like
nationwide.
Indiana.
Yeah.
Or Arizona.
I mean, this
That's
is the
at the airport.
craziest thing because I have sponsored the bill for years that would say, pick one. I don't care which one you pick, but I'm tired of changing the clock. And you look at what it costs people and it costs companies to go in and do all these resets. And it is just absolutely ridiculous. Do you want more daylight in the morning or do you want it in the afternoon? Pick one. I would like
pick the more
daylight
sunshine
savings
in the
time.
afternoon.
Absolutely.
I'm a musician. I wake up late.
Look at everybody around the board. Look at everybody's mood. When the time changes, their whole mood changes. Their whole character changes. They'll work longer hours. No problem. We got more daylight.
I like it dark.
And
I prefer more dark.
I
Yeah.
get that.
That's
I
why
totally
office
get
has
that.
no windows. You guys know this.
I get
Where
that.
do you stand? Do you just want to stay one
I
way?
would prefer daylight savings time.
Me too.
Year round.
Yeah.
But I just say stop
Pick
the
one,
madness of
please.
changing the clocks. I mean, it makes no sense at all to me that we change the clocks and then we change them back and then we change them, you know.
What if we made it fun and just land somewhere in the middle?
Do a half hour.
like 45 minutes.
Make everybody
I just throw the
happy.
whole thing off.
Yeah, it would throw the whole thing off.
I mean, why not?
Wow, you just
Because
blew my mind.
Why does it have to be? Can't we just
Do a
in
half
the middle?
hour.
Do a half hour?
I'm going
31 minutes.
I'm going to go there. Senator, you running for governor?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
2026 would be
This is not
right?
live.
it would be.
And it's just between us. Just between us.
Yeah. Yeah. We won't tell anybody.
I'm giving a good serious look at running for governor.
Yes.
Okay.
And if I run, I will win.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Well,
You heard it here first.
Yes.
100%.
And
You're amazing.
if I run, I will be the strongest conservative in the race.
I believe that too. And I don't know if you know this, but we happen to propel careers here. We
I don't know if
had
you know this. This is going to help.
we had Kash Patel on before he was the FBI director, and look at that.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
There you go.
I'm just
We-
saying.
We had Christy Nome
We
on.
simply befriended Governor Christy Nome. And now look at her. I mean,
So you made a good choice by stopping by.
Your future's bright.
Of course.
so is it true that the whole demeanor, like in restaurants and hotels of DC, changes with each administration? Like
it does.
I've always heard that. I wouldn't experience myself.
What are you talking
You
about?
know,
That's
people are happy and they're hopeful, and it is like a new attitude. But here is the way I kind of look at it. I think that there are important moments in the life of a family or the life of a country. And 1776, important to us. You look at how we really solidified ourselves as one nation in that period from 1861 to 1865. You look at what happened around World War II when people said, and you look from 1938 to 1945, and people said, we are Americans. We are the USA. We can do this. We are the greatest generation. And I think 2024 was another of those pivotal starts. The American people said, we are not giving in to DEI. We are sick and tired of ESG. We know that men and women are different.
Amen.
We believe in a strong military. We love our country, and we are not going to put up with this stuff. And they showed up, and they gave Donald Trump a mandate to get our fiscal house in order, to get this country back on track and keep it on track. And I fully believe that the American people are expecting big things.
Amen.
I told my colleagues the other day, we were talking about it, and we're finding about 4 $4 billion a day in cuts that we can do from DOGE. And I said, let's not limit ourselves and say, well, we're satisfied with $1.5 trillion in cuts. Let's take every cut that we can get, and let's get every dollar of fraud and waste out of the federal government, because it is the taxpayer's dollar. It's not government's money.
Right.
It is taxpayer money that is going to waste on these projects. It may be $3 trillion, it may be $2 trillion, but let's cut it all. Then let's see what we've got. And then let's get government to the point that it is modernized to deliver all of its services, and that we're going to be able to meet the needs of people that need services, and defend our nation, and get our taxes low, and secure our southern border, and get inflation down, and get busy with this, and send that power and money back to the states for health care and education and regulation and benefits. And Tennessee we have the potential to be, we should be America's conservative leader.
Yes.
I love it.
I think we can.
I absolutely love that.
I've got to ask the senator what it was like the night that the president gave the address. What was that vibe like inside the room? I mean, because it was, for us watching it on TV, we're like, what is going on? I can't imagine what it was like there.
You know what? I was so pleased that he had a good time giving that address.
I'm telling you.
And I am so pleased that the response from the American people was what it was. I mean, everybody liked that. I think it was like a 70% approval rating or something. I think that the Democratic Party and their conduct, they could not stand up for a child that had survived brain cancer, and a kid that was going to West Point, and parents that had lost their children, a girl who had been injured in an accident with a guy playing in women's sports. They couldn't stand up and show gratitude for law enforcement. And I thought the conduct was absolutely abhorrent. If you're not going to applaud, and if you don't like President Trump, don't take it out on people that have overcome adversity. Cheer for them. Cheer for them.
Right.
And let the American people see that you are cheering for people that have overcome obstacles. Be on their team. But they could not bring themselves to do that. But here's what I do think the Democrats have done. They have convinced themselves that they were right on November 5th and that everybody else was wrong. And they have refused to listen to the American people. And, we talk a lot about issues that are 80-20 issues.
Right.
The Democrats are with the 20.
It's
have
unbelievable.
They're stuck there.
Left all of the 80. And it's like they're completely out of step with the American people and where they are. I just think they are so off on the wrong track. And their conduct, I am hopeful that members of the Democratic Party will call their elected representatives out about that conduct.
I asked somebody about that the other day. I was like, is there anybody in the party, in the Democratic Party, that has stepped up and go, hey, y'all, this is not working?
Well, has
anybody done that?
The moment when that little boy... the moment that little boy got the hug, Secret Service agent, and had his back, like...
Tears, streaming.
It was such an incredible moment, and to me, like, to see no one on the Democratic side stand up, really just rip the Band-Aid off anyone who was wondering how they really truly were. Because if you don't feel that,
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, then you can't. And I was surprised that no one really stood up at all and broke order with it.
I don't
You
know
what
how
I'm saying?
y'all
Like,
held your tongues over here on the right side. I don't know how everybody wasn't. I can't believe it didn't come unhinged there for a second.
There is, when I was working my way through college selling books door to door for the Southwestern Company, I learned a really important lesson. And it is, don't waste your time worrying about things you cannot control. I cannot control what the Democrats.
I'm learning from you,
Neil. She's looking right at you.
I know. And I'm like, and I have to,
see, Neil, we were right.
I have to commend her on the whole Taylor Swift comment and stuff. And you held your tongue on that one, and I would have come unhinged. And I'm learning from you. I hope you're governor, and you're a good, you're a good influence on me because
let me tell you,
because if Taylor Swift would have talked to me like she talked to you, I would have come unhinged. And you,
Taylor Swift is a talented young woman, and I am so pleased that Nashville is the center of her creative universe.
yes.
We
have
a difference of opinion, obviously.
God, you're so nice. You're so nice.
But I think
You're definitely going to win, Governor. Ain't no two ways about it.
Listen, I think she was given bad information.
Right.
Who has done more to fight human trafficking and sex trafficking? Me.
Yeah.
Who has done more to protect kids in the virtual space? Kids Online Safety Act, Report Act, all these pieces that I've got. Who's done more to protect songwriters? Songwriters Equity, music modernization. We've got No Fakes. We've got the Copied Act, the American Music Tourism Act, all these different bills. So
does she know that?
I don't know. What
Travis
she
has
knows.
not told her yet.
I don't think she knows.
I
Travis
just
doesn't
look
know.
at her and say, "Shake it off."
Oh, where's the drum set? Ba-doom, ba. That's amazing. Hey, real quick, let's talk about the first 100 days. Actually, what are we, 2 months in? Trump's first 100 days. The border.
He can't do math.
Yeah, right. The border is basically closed.
Yes.
Amazing. Inflation, down.
Yes.
Ukraine and Russia, peace talks. Rosie O'Donnell has left the country. It's an amazing first. It's an amazing first couple months. How do you feel about the first 100 days?
I am so excited about where we are after this first 50 days, I think it is, that we've completed. We have gotten President Trump's entire cabinet confirmed. So
That's
that
amazing.
is phenomenal. Record time. And we're working on deputies and assistants and all of those other components at this point in time. And he is so aggressive. I just am so grateful that he's got so much energy that he is just going to it.
And
it's
people aren't
every
used to
day.
it. It's so much actually. Someone's actually doing something. They got voted in, and now people aren't used to it. Like, they're doing what they said they do.
You're right.
That's right.
This can happen.
He made promises. He is keeping promises. And he is doing a great job. J.D. Vance is going to go down in history as one of the best VPs ever. And they are determined to shrink the size of government in Washington, D.C., and they will. And they will send that power back to the states. And the states are going to have to do good things with it. But I think it is phenomenal that when you look at the border, when you look at crime in cities, when you look at respect for law enforcement, when you talk about inflation coming down, when you look at getting people to the negotiating table using tariffs, because his goal is to get reciprocal tariffs or no tariffs. Right. So that we can get the cost down, so that countries are not padding their economies because they're tariffing us.
Yeah, people don't realize that. They're tariffing us huge percentages.
Yes, that is what you call trade deficits.
Right.
And so we are continuing to push on this to get these things done soon. We know we've got a 2-year window, and we're going to have to work every single day to get these things done. But with President Donald Trump back in the White House, our allies know they're an ally. Our enemies know they're an enemy. Countries know that they need to come to the White House and they need to negotiate with him, and they are coming and they are showing up. And I'm on Senate Finance Committee, and I can tell you we've had the Canadian Ag Minister and Oil Minister and Finance Minister and Commerce Minister, all of them coming to the office. We've had all these countries with their different ministers of finance and economics coming into the office. They want to do business with the United States of America. That is a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we want that to be a level playing field that is going to help us to grow jobs and grow salaries and build our economy. And that's a good thing. And that's a big part of the focus that we have, is that prosperity and getting us back on the right track.
Your timing as governor is going to be perfect.
It is.
I
can't wait.
You're Johnny One Note
Come
today.
on.
Yeah. Well, and do you think we'll get like the Doge dividends? Do you think that'll actually happen? Or will the dividends just go back into the American pot just to make everything stronger?
Here's what I
deficit?
want is there's a process we do that is called rescissions. And this is when we take savings like that and we cut it out of the federal budget. And the Office of OMB, Office of Management and Budget, has to ask us to make those rescissions. And we can pass that through both chambers of Congress. Then those programs and that funding goes bye-bye. It is cut out of the budget. I want us to do as much cutting as we can. I do not want to leave 1 ounce of fat. You know, we need to doge everything out. And then we need to put us on Ozempic for life, the federal government. And just, take those GLP-1s every day, and just keep this thing trimmed down and skinnied up.
Yeah.
And that's what the American people want to see. It's certainly what Tennesseans want to see.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Senator, we know your time is precious. We can't thank you enough for being here with us. And when you came on, I was going to ask if you've ever been with 4 more clueless or unqualified people. But then I thought, they make you sit with Democrats all the time. So we're very appreciative. What do you got?
Well, I was going to see if you were going to ask her what we ask most of our guests each time they come.
Go, real quick. We'll end with this.
What did you think the first time you heard Jason Aldean sing the song Try That in Small Town?
I thought, yeah.
Right.
You got it. That's great. What
By
a
the way,
great
thank you for coming to the
song.
defense.
Yeah.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
Growing up in a small town, I could totally relate to that. Love the song.
We read your comment, and we appreciate you having our back.
You got it.
100%. And
you.
like we said, you've got the backs of all the musicians, artists, songwriters here in Tennessee. We're very thankful for you.
You got it. And I appreciate you all. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator.
My name is Glenn Story. I'm the founder and CEO of Patriot Mobile. And then we have 4 principles. First Amendment, Second Amendment, right to life, military and first responders. If you have a place to go put your money, you always want to put it with somebody that's like-minded. Of course. And I think that's the beauty of Patriot Mobile. We're a conservative alternative.
Don't get fooled by other providers pretending to share your values or have the same coverage. Go to patriotmobile.com/smalltown to get a free month of service when you use the offer code SMALLTOWN or call 972-PATRIOT.
You know what goes great with small town stories?
Original Glory, America's beer right here.
You know, I've been drinking this every songwriting session today.
Man, that clean, crisp taste reminds me of summer nights on the back porch after a fresh mowed lawn.
And they're just not making great beer. They're investing in America's small towns.
Well, it's just like us. They believe in bringing communities together.
Not only do they invest in communities, but a portion of each sale goes to the veterans and the first responders and all the heroes that protect us.
For a limited time, you can become a member of the OG fam and invest in this beer at wefunder.com/original brands.
Join our Original Glory family and help ignite that Original Glory spirit.
We're doing a wrap up.
By the way, we're back, and Kayla just said, "What are we doing now?"
I need to know.
I know. Well, what we were saying is, we were just talking as the senator left. Sounds like she might run for governor. Sounds like she's confident.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
That's a baller answer.
It wasn't. It wasn't that. Like, I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'm kind of weighing my odds. I'm thinking. No, she went to straight. I'm going to win.
Right. You figure the politician answer is that.
I know.
But then she's like, "No, yeah, I'll win."
Yeah.
That was not a politically correct answer she gave us at all.
Well, I think she's got
a
good feel for the spirit of the country right now and the state right
I think
now.
so, too.
So what a great.
Well, Trump loves her.
lady. Yeah.
She can't lose.
Smart.
There's
Yeah.
no way.
She's a winner.
She's a winner. Kind of like us.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about running.
I'm nursing.
I wish you
I'm
would have
nursing.
asked her that because you have the last name.
How hard can it be? Yes, I Kennedy, another one to cross the party line, perhaps.
Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like my time's now. Vote Kennedy.
Maybe. And
Kennedy.
and speaking of winners,
Kennedy.
I thought you were going to talk about the merch a little bit.
Oh, the merch. I'm going
Yeah.
to talk. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
This is my new turkey hunting hat I have on.
I like
Turkey
that.
season's
Now,
coming
who
up. It's
wouldn't
right
want
around
that
the
hat?
corner. And who wouldn't want one of these camo Try That in a Small Town podcast hats?
And then
Nice.
Kayla's got
is
a
this
black
Kayla's
one.
hat?
Yeah. I brought that just in case.
Where
I
can you
wore my
find these
America
hats,
one
by the way?
tonight.
Try That in a smalltown.com.
Boom.
Go to the store.
What? These
yeah,
are
go to the
available?
merch. Go to the store.
These are available right now.
You know how many turkeys I'm going to kill in this hat this year? Oh, my God.
When is turkey season? I have no idea.
Middle of April. I think it's April 13th.
Right after duck season.
April 12th in Tennessee,
12th?
and I'm pissed about that. We're all pissed. All the turkey hunters in Tennessee are pissed about that.
Why?
Because they took 2 weeks away from us. It used to open like at the beginning of April, end of March.
The lack of turkey?
No. That's their
That's what I would
excuse.
think.
I don't believe it. That's their excuse.
Oh, did they actually use that as an excuse? Is
yeah,
that?
I don't
Okay.
know what their real excuse is.
Well, did the bird flu go from the chickens to the turkeys?
No, it did not.
I wish we would have had this conversation with the
No,
senator.
It's
the
another
flu
valid
has
thought.
nothing to do with it. It's I don't know why. There's probably a liberal in charge of the TWRA. That's my guess. It's never even been hunting in his life. Probably that's probably what the reason is. That's usually what the problem is. No, it's not a her. But I don't know. Anyway. We want our full turkey season back. If anybody's listening from the TWRA, I want it back. I want my 2 weeks back.
Now we need to have enough turkeys for Thanksgiving. I don't want to risk that. That's my favorite.
Those are domesticated turkeys, Tully.
Oh,
Yeah,
I knew that.
Yeah, those are farm raised turkeys.
Not the ones I eat.
Well, yeah. We're not talking about the ones that you actually kill and dress yourself. Like, we want to go to Publix and get one.
I need to take our listeners need to know that I need to take these three guys turkey.
I've
hunting.
been turkey hunting. One of the worst experiences I've ever had.
Yeah.
Really?
You need to go
Yeah.
with O'Neill.
Why? I don't even know nothing about it.
No, I was in Texas with Tyler Farr. It was 155 degrees.
Oh, is that when the cartel came up on your blind?
And just sitting there in a blind with Tyler Farr. And he's like, man, I'm the best turkey caller in west side of Mississippi. I'm like, okay, this will be cool. And he starts doing this crazy sound and no turkeys come. 2 hours, no turkeys come. We get back to the lodge. Everybody's got turkeys. 6, 7 turkeys laid out. And not us, nothing. So anyway, I don't know.
You need to go with old Thrash.
What time do you have to wake up to go turkey hunting?
You got to get up well before the sun comes up.
I'm out.
Well, we went
I'm
in the
out.
heat of the afternoon. Maybe that was the problem. With a bottle of whiskey. So maybe that's
You can go anytime.
Really?
Oh yeah, certain states cut it off at like 1 o'clock, but here in Tennessee you can hunt all day.
Interesting.
And I've killed more turkeys in the afternoon than I have in the morning. Yeah, because I can call my ass off.
Give it to us. Or do you have a,
No,
like, a
I,
little
have to
thing?
have, I don't have my diaphragm with me.
Now we're talking about preventing pregnancy.
I have to put my diaphragm in my mouth.
Whoa!
Oh my God.
Don't do that. That sounds disgusting.
disgusting.
No, it's amazing sounding. No, it's a wonderful sound.
Oh gosh,
It works.
Hope my mother's not listening.
Yeah,
to
let's
this.
pivot.
It calls all the ladies in.
TK, you got this book in front of you. I think
I
it's
do.
important.
Actually, Jason Redman, a really good friend of ours, we had him on early on in the podcast.
Navy SEAL.
Navy SEAL, American hero. His book, Trident, is an incredible story about what he went through. Great guy. He came out to a show after the podcast, brought his wife out. Him and his wife wrote this book together. Mission Invincible Marriage, a battle-tested guide to an enduring relationship. It's pretty amazing. Him and his wife are inspiring. They wrote this book to just lend some knowledge and advice to couples. And I
He sent that to you specifically.
well, to us, to the podcast.
Yeah.
It would take a much larger book.
Hey, when you get through with it in 4 or 5 months, pass it around to us.
Does Jason turkey hunt?
Redmond?
Yeah, because turkey hunters, marriages are kind of on the rocks for turkey hunters. I know they're gone all the time.
Well, whatever he's doing must be working because this book is
And honestly, what they've gone through as a couple, what he's gone through and how you get through that. He's just one of my favorite people. He's an incredible person. His wife's amazing. So Gary Sinise did the foreword. So
nice.
Yeah, check it out.
Check it out.
I definitely want to check it out.
I do too.
You know, proud of him, and he's all about helping any way he can people.
Yeah,
So
he's a
I love that.
badass.
Yeah, we
He is.
need more people
sure.
like
So,
Jason.
Jason, Erica, thank you for sending this. We will pass it around, and hopefully our wives will appreciate what we've done. You know,
So too.
I think we're getting there.
Yeah, inch by inch. Hey, have you guys?
Nice choice of words there, Kurt.
Now,
Let's segue from the diaphragm.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, inch by inch.
What do you mean by that?
I'm sorry, Mom.
I was gonna ask, and now I'm off put. Topical conversation. Have you guys been hearing the swatting going on? You haven't heard of swatting?
No,
It's like
I've heard of
everybody's
squatting, but not swatting.
So apparently, like you get there's a call to the SWAT team that arrives at the house, and it's basically like the new prank call. And yeah, it's like a deal, and they're targeting conservatives. Like this is like happening all over now. But since you guys don't know anything about it, I guess we want to have this conversation.
Well, I've been.
No, I want to know more about it.
I've been off the grid for a good week and a half.
Good for you.
So I didn't look at any. Maybe I missed it in the.
No, it's just been happening a lot lately, and it's I don't know, it's just concerning because it's basically targeting conservative voices. Cough, cough.
Especially you, Neil.
Bring it.
Well, yeah, we'll save it for a different episode, but maybe swatting.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that one.
Yeah, check it out. Check it out.
So if a SWAT team shows up in the front of
Yeah, it's basically like a high level prank call. Hey, somebody murdered somebody over at 1805 Johnson Street.
Yeah.
They show up to your house and it's a serious situation.
they come busting in and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
When you said swatting at first, I thought you were talking because we just talked about
Like flies.
Jason Redmond's
Yeah.
book, Invincible Marriage. I thought you were talking about us, reaching, for our wives in a lovemaking gesture, and then swatting. That was where my head was. I was so far away from that.
Oh my God!
You're right. The segue wasn't that
I was
great.
so far
You're
away.
on fire tonight.
Yeah, so far
you
away.
are. You're on fire.
Oh my God. I don't even know where to go after that.
Oh well, you could go to Tully. You had a point. I think it was about Neil's daughter's wife. Neil's daughter's wife's.
What? Whoa,
Neil's
where?
daughter's wife's uncle.
Yeah.
No, Allie, Neil's daughter,
whoa.
is getting married soon, right?
Yes.
And so we talked about the menu and things like that.
Yeah,
And we
she
always
was-
have thrash talk. And so something came up where you questioned.
I questioned something.
You question the menu?
I questioned them. Well, Allie was talking to me and Caleb
I
before
haven't
the
seen
podcast.
the menu.
You haven't?
No.
You're about to.
But you're paying for the menu.
Yep.
So Allie said she just got the menu back. And there's a braised short rib. And there's
Which sounds right.
yeah,
That sounds
and
in
there's
line.
There's a chicken glazed with a very fancy sauce.
Wait a minute.
That's okay.
How do you guys know this before I did?
Well,
Well, it's
proving it.
because we care about people, and we were just asking Allie about her life, and that's how this.
She had a menu in her hand, though. She showed you.
She knows the menu. It's done though.
And she knows the dollar amount.
we didn't talk about that.
yeah.
But go ahead and get to
The most
last,
interesting part is when she said the vegan option.
Yeah,
It's a giant piece of cauliflower, but then I don't know what's in it. But I was surprised
That there is a vegan option?
Kayla goes, "That's a very liberal menu."
that's for a man's man. You know, to be supplying all the food for this event. We thought it was odd that you would have a
There's
vegan
no
option.
vegans coming to her wedding.
That you said, hey guys, shouldn't we get something for the vegans?
What vegans?
There's a vegan coming.
Just telling you.
What vegans?
And it is costly.
There must be a vegan
It's
coming.
more expensive than the short rib.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's always going to be that way.
I know, but
organic, all the vegan menu, it's always going to be more expensive. That's the way the libs work.
Tully wants to know why you approved it.
Well, we wanted
haven't
to know.
approved it. I haven't seen it.
We wanted to know, not just me, right, Kayla?
Yeah, we wanted to know.
But if you're vegan, why not just
Kurt.
eat the salad and the vegetables? Do you have to have the main course?
Exactly.
You know why?
Why?
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I'm not catering to vegans.
No.
There's nothing
I'm
wrong
going to
with
answer your
vegans.
question. The reason is because if you don't have a vegan dish, they don't get to say, I'm vegan. Because that's their favorite thing to do is to say, I'm vegan.
What
It's
about
true.
Vegan.
It's true.
They can't just pick around the stuff and they have to say, I'm vegan. No, I'm vegan. I'm vegan. They love it. That's their go-to.
Now, some people do have food allergies, so they
I have food allergies, but I don't go.
You know,
Why don't
but
you
it
just
could
say
be
that
to
then?
where.
Just don't eat it.
Just say that.
But some people would have to eat vegan because of legit allergies.
I agree.
Yeah,
Is there a dairy-free option on this menu?
that I don't know.
Eat some freaking meat, man. Jeez. Man up. Eat some meat.
Man up, girl.
Oh, I love you guys.
Now we'll say. Here's what I'll say. I have had an Impossible Burger.
Yeah, actually, you introduced
Joe
me to an
Nichols?
Impossible Burger.
Nice.
What did you say,
At
Kayla?
the Joe Nichols restaurant. The Impossible.
Very
No,
funny.
And you didn't get any royalties
He had to
for it
get his
either.
song in there. He plugged it
Yeah.
anyway.
I'm trying.
It's interesting. I mean, it's got the texture.
Yeah, you took me to a place in New York City, and we had
Yep.
one, and it was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it never can replace.
Well, no.
You know,
and I'd be
ground
surprised
beef
that Neil will have a vegan option at his daughter's wedding. My favorite thing.
Yeah, it's not that there's anything
It's
wrong
not up
with
to
it.
me. I haven't seen it yet.
No, you're right. Well, you're right. It's definitely not up to you.
No, it's not.
you-
I offered him $50,000 to go get married and go to the courthouse. Just go on.
See, that's so smart.
What a great idea.
That's so smart.
Dude wanted her fiance Roger wanted to do it. He's like the dudes always want the money.
Right.
You know,
Take the
you're gonna
money.
be married either way.
Well, thankfully,
And
sounds
why-
like
why
he's
not-
loaded.
Why not start a nest egg? You know, I
Yeah.
offered the cash. I did it for my first daughter, and I did it for this one. And they want the show.
Well, they
don't want the cash. They want
have
the
the
show.
nest egg. It's you.
No, they don't. Because once
That's
they
a
get
good
married,
point.
no. Once they get married, it's over.
Are eggs vegan?
There are no more eggs.
No, eggs are not big.
Because you said nest egg.
Can anyone buy eggs anymore?
Eggs are down.
Yeah, they're coming down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the price are coming down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to. We talked about it a little bit on another podcast. I remember, they were like, I don't know, it equaled just a little under $1 an egg. I'm like, go buy some chickens if you don't want to buy eggs. Go
Lot of
buy some
trouble.
chickens. It's a lot cheaper.
You got to build a coop.
A lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget you don't work with your hands. You don't even carry your base. You couldn't build a coop.
Guys, we don't know what to do. We haven't played a show in I don't know how long.
Been a minute.
It's been a little bit. Aldine texted, what was the other day? Or was it you that texted us and
Yeah.
be like, oh my God, can we go please play a show?
Just wandering around.
Yeah. Have no
It
purpose.
is kind of sad. You two.
Oh, no, we're sad.
I know. Y'all aren't touring. It's for the listeners, man. It's
Hey,
like this is a good place to unload, though. Right here on the Try That in a Small Town podcast. It's a good place for you two to unload. You still look stage ready.
What does that mean, unload?
Just your frustrations, your boredom, all of it.
Hey, I want to go to this real quick because I think this is going to be cool. We've introduced this thing. It's through SpeakPipe. And instead of people just submitting their questions via Instagram or X or whatever, it allows us to hear their voice asking the question, which is kind of cool. So we've got a few. You guys want to see what we got?
Oh, heck yeah.
Hey, Jim, what do I do? Just play this thing in the microphone and see if it works? Yes, sir. All right, let's find out what this one's from. It looks like I told them to leave their name and where they're from, but I don't know if they did. We'll see what happens.
Hi, my name is Nick Bruno, and I was wondering what is your favorite memory from a recording session, if you have one. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my question.
Well, Nick seems very polite,
good one.
and I think we should
Question.
answer his question.
Yeah.
Tully, do you have a recording session moment that stands out to you that you can tell?
That I can tell. Okay, because I do have a favorite one, but I probably shouldn't.
Yeah, probably shouldn't.
Shouldn't tell it.
What about the first time that we cut one of the songs that we wrote?
Yeah,
For Jason.
I love it. I actually will go back a little further. And
I was
this
going to
is
say, try that in small town. It was one of those
well,
moments.
it's totally one of those moments. But I often think about like the first time that we went in to make the first record. Just because we were all sure that would be the last time that we went in, you know? So
Right.
I remember like specifically starting that whole record with Amarillo Sky.
Mm-hmm.
And we played it down one time and walked back into the control room, and it sounded so good. And I was like, wow, this might actually work. This sounds pretty cool. You know what I mean? I just remember walking in there, then walking back into the studio to record it again.
I was terrified,
You know?
through that first record.
Because we didn't know what we were doing. Like if you listen to that first record, which now and the way we hear things now, you can tell with half of that record, like we don't even know how to end the songs. We'll just like play out, like we'll just like do a vamp out of like noodling around, and it just fades away, you know. Yeah. But it was cool though, because in that studio, we're still record there today, same studio, Treasure Isle. But that's where we used to do all the old demos before we did the album too. Mm-hmm. Like back in the old days, just learning how to be a band, right?
That's an amazing thing right there, though, that you guys are still cutting Aldean's records at the same studio.
Same studio, same
Since day
engineer,
one.
same players.
That's amazing. You know how rare that is?
Yeah, no, and it's like it's fun to talk about it because we get every time we show up there, we talk about this, but usually it's because like the place is actually like falling down.
Yeah,
but you're right, Neil. It's like it is rare to. I'm sitting in the same chair from 26, 27 years ago.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody's usually looking for a different place, a different sound, experiment with a new room, you know, and all that stuff.
Right, you're right. That's the mentality, right? If you know, everybody thinks. I mean, at home, everybody like probably thinks that we're sitting in this amazing looking building,
state of the art studio.
And this place barely has like heat and air.
You can still smell the smoke.
No, you can. But there is a thing in that studio with that group of guys on the floor, with Knox in there in the control room, Pete Coleman back there. Like, Pete did like Blondie and the Knack and stuff, recorded them.
Yeah, Pat Benatar. I mean,
it's old school. And Neil, you just nailed it. Like it's a lot of that rawness of that studio is part of the Aldean thing. So it's anyway, Nick, I really remember recording that first album like it was yesterday, really.
Let's see what this one is.
Hey guys, I'm Carrie from Waite Park, Minnesota, and I have a logistics question from your instruments point of view. Can you take us through a day in their life on tour? Like who packs, transports, and sets them up? Do they fly on a plane or do they ride in the back of a truck from stop to stop? Who tunes them? And how do you decide which guitar you're going to use for each song? And lastly, what is the worst onstage hiccup that you've had with your instrument and how did you handle it? I hope this question doesn't strike the wrong chord.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Nice. Well, that's a lot of questions. Let me see. What part do we want to get to?
I want to know what mishap you've had. That's the one. That's part of her question.
That's a good one to start with.
Mishaps are really unfortunate.
Have you dropped a guitar on stage?
I have dropped. Okay, so that's a good one. So there used to be a bit in the show where I would swing my guitar around my neck.
It's pretty impressive.
Kind of like ZZ. I don't know if ZZ. No, theirs was like this, but I used to swing it around my neck. And you have what they call strap locks on your guitar. And for people to know that it locks the strap onto your guitar. Mostly when you buy a strap, you just kind of pull it over the button. Not that safe if you're going to swing it. So I did swing the guitar. The strap locks did malfunction and the guitar went flying.
Ooh. That could be dangerous.
It could have been dangerous. I could have maybe killed somebody.
You could have killed Aldine.
Yeah, you're right. I could have
You
killed
would have been out of a job.
Yeah, that guitar, rest in peace. So
Okay.
that's a mishap. Tully, you want to talk about?
Well, the second part too was different basses or guitars for different songs. Like I think that's one
I
of our
definitely have a
questions.
lot. Unfortunately, we've talked
Tunings,
about this
maybe?
before. Like I grew up. If you have one guitar, that's amazing. It's you. Oh my God, I got this guitar, and you think that's my guitar. Well, I guess unfortunately or whatever, there's a lot of songs that have different tunings. They have different sounds. So I probably change guitars every song. Wow. Now I'll reintroduce the guitar through the set, but every song is a new guitar. I do have a tech. Tully has a tech. They tune the guitars. They're responsible for packing. They go on a bus just like we do, or I should say a semi, all the gear. They go town to town with it.
What's her name that asked the question?
I think it was Carrie.
Carrie. Yeah, Carrie. You should see them without their techs.
It's really
lonely.
It's actually
really
sad.
It's actually really
sad.
pathetic.
They have a heart for them.
I actually broke into a cold sweat at the Ryman when I realized, wait, where are my chords and my tuner? That was on me.
You had to tune your own bass. Poor you.
He's like, what are these lights? What are these?
But you know what? I mean, without getting too deep in the woods, it's like, I don't even know how my guitar rig works anymore. Like I have this ground control thing that if I want delay and reverb and chorus on something, I just press the pedal. I know that part, but it's like connected through some weird thing and goes back to different effect pedals on the back. And like if something goes out, I'm like,
if something goes wrong, you'll know it because one of our techs will be crawling on their knees through the dark up to the board and fiddling with stuff. So I don't know how it works.
Yeah, we're very thankful for all of our crew, the techs. Believe me, we're blessed. And like these guys say, it's to the point of ridiculous.
We do have an amazing road crew, though.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say one of the, I think, obviously I'm biased, but one of the best. They're just incredible.
When you got to have them.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
It's impossible.
We always walk out there after the show. Because usually when they're sitting up, we're not awake. These guys are up early.
Oh, they're up at 7.
So when we go get our coffee, at 11, stuff's set up.
Yeah.
Right. And then after the show's done, we always walk and it's like they tear that stuff down so quick, like an hour.
Yeah, you'd be amazed at how quickly they can tear down all the lights, all the staging, all the amps. And people don't realize this. They see, how many people got on stage? 5, 6? And they don't realize there's an army of people that work with Jason Aldean, the Aldean Army, that go there and they set up, like Tully says, at 7 a.m. They're tearing down at 1 a.m. and they're sleeping that 5 hours in between.
I don't think they sleep 5 hours.
Yeah, they might not.
Not those guys.
Sounds like my Monday morning with Lana. You guys are borderline bubble people.
Now, are we going back to the bubble?
Yep, borderline bubble people.
Why do you say this?
I don't know. It's catering,
There's
sleeping
different
in.
levels of bubbles.
They do offer vegan options at our catering as well.
They do.
And you have to for food allergies.
Well, what's funny, Neil? Bubble is funny you said that because we always joke about it is living in a bubble for sure because play the show, get off stage about 11:30, hang out for a couple hours, get back in our bus and our bunks about 3-ish, and we wake up and it all happens again in a different place. So all that going around us, really, we are caught.
I bet I can imagine y'all's schedule coming off a tour to right now.
Yeah, it gets different.
That's where this book's come in handy. A battle-tested guide to enduring relationship.
Yeah, amen.
That's a post-tour book for musicians as well.
You bet it is.
Oh my gosh! Hey guys, we got to wrap this up, but I kind of teased this early in the year. I didn't know if it was true, but we do have some really big guests coming on, and we're we're pumped and we're thankful. We got some great people coming on, so stick with us. If you're watching on YouTube, leave us a review. Ed, you're killing the reviews.
Yep.
Do the 5 stars. Jim's waving at me for
Get
something.
on trythatinasmalltown.com and get some merch. Y'all,
we need to talk about
around.
eSpaces. We need to talk about eSpaces real quick. New sponsor.
Yes.
You want to talk about your buddy that you take money
No,
from?
John
We're
Pirtle.
pumped.
Yeah.
I play golf with him.
Yeah.
He owns a company, eSpaces, and we may wind up moving our studios. We don't know. But
We're going back and forth, maybe.
we may
Who
go
knows?
back
Yeah,
and forth.
it's unbelievable.
On the road. Yeah, eSpaces. They're built. Their floors that they have in these high rises downtown Nashville, and they got one coming over in Cool Springs. They're super nice. They're super innovative. The technology is super
Yeah, it's so
up
cool.
to date. It's really cool. And
On Music Row, right? And then one close
yes,
to Music Row?
Mm-hmm. There's one on Music Row, and
And they're going to be expanding probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what we should do?
What's that?
This comes back to the RV bus thing.
Oh,
Try that in a small town tour, podcast tour. And we go out and we'll do it in a restaurant or local bar, small town. People come out, take their questions.
don't give it away too early.
Yeah.
It'd be fun though.
Your wish might come true.
Little hint.
We'll expand later.
Yeah, there's more on that to come.
Yeah, restaurant, bar. You never know what's
I like
coming
the
down
tease
the
there, Telly. I like the tease.
I know it.
Patriot Mobile, we're thankful for them. Original Glory, always a pleasure. We love those guys. What I got to the YouTube. What else do we got? Hey, Instagram. Follow us on X, man. We need some followers, guys.
Yeah,
Jump
let's
over.
go.
Get
We
over
need
to the
some
X.
followers.
I think that's about it, right?
Yeah.
What an episode.
Are you kidding
That's
me?
a
It was
lot in
fun.
this episode.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah.
And there's a lot more to come. We're thankful for all of you. For Kalo, for Thrash, for TK.
And
I'm the Cobb. No, I don't know. I don't know.
Just roll.
We haven't said it on
We'll
yet.
figure it out.
Yeah, you come. All right. Thanks for listening, guys.
Make sure to follow along, subscribe, share, rate the show, and check out our merch at trythatinasmalltown.com.